Happy Halloween, everyone. The children are out and about. I hear them outside. I want to talk on this video about what I feel is a shame in the loss of dating and what it comes down to. And I think that we have done a great disservice to men by kind of telling them to stand down, to be like women, and to tell women to be like men. Certainly, we all had to grow. Certainly, women had to gain financial independence. I think that's super important because it's not good to be dependent completely on a man or anyone as an adult. As a child, yes, we are dependent. As adults, we have to be able to take care of ourselves so that we can leave people who are abusive. All right? And men also had to learn to be more vulnerable because they were always told they shouldn't have feelings. And that left them also not fully adults, just a fraction of who they could be as humans. So I think it was good for women to learn how to provide for themselves financially and for men to come more in touch with their feelings. However, I think we've gone too far. And this recent movie, Snow White, I haven't looked into it too much, but apparently in the woke version of Snow White that Disney has made, you know, the man is a stalker. Going back to what Gloria Steinem first said, a woman needs a man like a fish needs a bicycle. That's very toxic female talk. That's very toxic. It's very bad. And in the same way that, you know, men have like reacted to that by becoming pickup artists and just choosing to MGTOW and just choosing to not even date. 45% of men 18 to 25 have never asked a woman out. My suspicion is that they're mostly clustered in the 18 to 20 year age group, that they were really impacted by the lockdown and by the rise on their phones and so on. But even for me at my age, there's a difference I noticed in men, and I couldn't really put my finger on it. So here's my attempt at doing that. Cheers. By the way, both of the Halloween parties I'd planned to attend were canceled. The first one was a meetup group that was canceled already a while back. They refunded the money. And then today the thing I was going to go to was canceled. So I'm just staying home. I didn't really want to go out, but I had planned to go out. But anyway, what I was really thinking about was, and guys, I really want to hear from women and men what you think about this. Now, I'm not saying that men are bad or women are bad, but I'm just saying that society has taken us in some directions which I don't think are good. And I'm thinking about the Snow White movie. I'm thinking about all the wars we're fighting. And it's not that we're defending ourselves. We're giving money to other countries. And it's not like those countries are, they're not related to our national security. And also, we don't have the money. It's not like we have all this money that we want to give these countries. We're borrowing from Russia and China, adding to our trillions of debt that we can never repay. That's how the Roman Empire collapsed. It collapsed because of over-militarization, and that's what the U.S. is doing. You know, we're in a nation in decline, and what I want to say about this is, I remember my video was taken down when I made a video during the lockdown saying that the FDA and the CDC is 45% funded by the pharmaceutical companies. It's true. You can look on the website because they have to pay to get certain products looked at or approved, you know. And that video was taken down as misinformation. It was just a 3-minute video. But during that whole lockdown thing, I was very upset. During the financial crisis, I was very upset. I was upset because I didn't see people protesting. I didn't see men taking a lead. And that's what I want to say. This is where I would have liked to see men taking the lead, just like the truckers in Canada. These burly, masculine men with beards, you know, and I love to see guys with beards in their trucks peacefully protesting against the forced vaccine mandates and the lockdowns. And of course, the tyrannical Justin Trudeau went after them, you know, and sent the clear message that we don't allow protests. We don't want protests, which is very interesting because in Europe there's a lot more protests. They feel more free to protest than we do. I think I'm afraid to protest. I'll tell you, okay, so this is the underlying current. Afraid to protest because you can be canceled, you can be demonetized, you can have people come after you. I want to put a sticker on my car that says, "End the wars." But I'm afraid people are going to drive me off the road. Like, we've become so afraid to say anything. There was a man during the lockdown, Mark McDonald, a psychiatrist in Los Angeles, whose books I read, The U.S. of Fear. He was writing about the fear epidemic and that it's men that were supposed to stand up and calm the women and calm the hysteria. And so what I'm getting to, now I'm going to make my point. You see all these hysterical women, or these women on TikTok just going off, and they're very hysterical. You know, they just need a man to be like, to calm them down. That's what I want to say. We need men, especially these women who are very hysterical, who don't know how to calm themselves. We need men to come in and just calm everything down. Not the warmonger men like Blinken and the politicians who are very much in the pockets of the lobbyists. We need some good men like the truckers, the equivalent of the truckers, to stand up and say, no more wars, no more lockdowns, no more telling men that we can't ask women out, no more to us. We're going to take back our voices. We're going to speak up. We're going to speak up for the right and the good things, and we're going to protect women, and we're going to provide, and we're going to lend our voices to putting this country in a positive direction. At the same time that I was against all these masks and I had to go along with it, I remember eventually the masks became optional. And during this time I was watching the trucker strike, and I was getting turned on, like in my heart, for like, I want a man like this who stands for something. I want a man who stands for something. And meanwhile, I'm going into my local Starbucks and I get all these pussy men standing in line with their masks. Like, I was so mad at these guys, but you know, I couldn't say anything. I was so mad. So I was going to make a video today. I was going to make a video after my beach walk called I Like the Strength of a Man. And I thought, well, I'll just make it before I go out in my costume. But I'm not going out. But that's what I like. I like the strength of a man. And the feminist movement has told men that we don't want your strength. We want you to be we want to be the strong ones, and we want you to be the submissive ones. Men can be women, women can be men, women can work like men, fuck like men. We're all interchangeable, and we lost something in that. And I think it's made men lose their voice. Men have lost their voice. But I'm telling you, I remember when men had a voice. And I, as a woman, I'm just trying to explain what I crave and what I think men are afraid to express is their strength, their leadership, their voices. You know, if there were some men standing out there protesting against the war, I would join them. But it's more the masculine energy that has to lead that. Okay, that's the first thing I want to say, is that we need the strength of a man. And when this men stand up and show their strength, not by hating on women, not by saying women are bitches, not by saying all women are cheaters and whatever those negative talkers are, but to just be a force for good. Women are going to start going after these men. They're going to want these men, and it's going to start changing things and calming these women down. Okay, these women don't need these men to react and repost their TikTok videos and saying what's wrong with her. We need men who are calm and grounded and say, hey, these women are out of line because we lost our place as men. We let these feminists just plow us over. And again, I don't think anyone knew what was happening, but that's what's happening. The feminists have plowed men under, but they also plowed women under. They told women that it was empowering to not be a wife, to not be a mother, to just focus on their careers, but it's not. It's important that we can provide for ourselves, okay? So go to college or go to a trade, learn a skill. But ideally, a woman gets married in her 20s and has some children by 30, early 30s. Now, I'm not a religious person. I'm not a conservative. Don't say that I'm some conservative or I'm religious. I am not religious. I follow no religion. I think they're bad. I don't follow the conservatives. I think they're all bad. I think they all have an agenda. I just follow what is like, I value relationships and I value family, okay? And these things that have been done are ruining relationships. They're ruining family, okay? You don't have to be a religious or conservative to value family, relationships, children, sex, and dating. And we've lost something. Furthermore, and I don't have an outline, so I'm putting all this into one video. I think that when I was a young mom, at that time in the 80s or 90s, actually, there was a concept called sequencing. But really what I thought was ideal, most moms, if not all, the majority, they want to get out of the house. They want to work part-time. And to this day, the options for professional women to work part-time is pretty much zilch. Nothing has changed since the 90s. We have not progressed at all. And so what we've done, we have through the devaluing the dollar by spending more than we earn. That is a huge reason that everything has gone up so much. Devaluing the dollar. No one wants to talk about that. Again, we need some men to speak up. We're devaluing the dollar because we're printing, borrowing. We're spending more than we produce. There's a trade deficit. We're devaluing the dollar. That's why people are having such a hard time earning a living. And more of the profits are being sucked out of workers and going to the elite, the capitalist class. And because of that, it's harder for men to make a living because you've got things are already more expensive, but you've got double the workforce. Okay, you've got double the workforce, so everybody is making less. Somehow I don't understand why that makes sense. It seems like if you have double the workforce, you would have double the productivity. So this is what I don't understand. Because I've heard this argument, women are competing with men for the same jobs, therefore there's more supply, therefore the price paid for these jobs goes down. But there is no limit to our productivity. Like, we need so many things in this country. We need more rehabs, we need more good daycares, we need more people to do like holistic health practices. You know, I don't understand why we don't just expand. These people don't just do different kind of work. I don't understand that part. So someone please fill me in if you understand that part. But the other thing that's happened is that women who traditionally have really liked more of the nurturing, cooperative type of work, that's what we're more built for. It's not in our nature to compete, okay? I don't like to compete. I like to be in things that are like happy and cooperative, you know? I'm built that way. Most women are built that way. Guys love, not that I don't like to ever compete, but I'm saying if you look at competition versus cooperation, it's more the girls that like to just naturally be more in the cooperation, nourishing relationship thing, and men who generally love to be more like analytical and compete. Not everyone. I am gonna say that's what I found in my life. That's generally true, not always. And what's happened is that women are going after these jobs where they have to really compete, whether it's investment banking or being a lawyer, or even in the classroom now. I don't think that women are really encouraged to express their feelings. They got to put up with so much crap from the students. What's happened with the jobs is that the jobs that traditionally women like to do, like teaching and nursing, the pay has not kept up with the cost of inflation, and the rise, the desire to eke more productivity out of people has really sapped a lot of people. There are so many teachers and nurses who are now quitting their jobs because they're disheartened with how they're treated, how they're paid, the long hours. They're just burnt out. Most teachers, you know, a lot of teachers are now having OnlyFans, not because they're like are exhibitionists, because they're broke. And we know that teachers have been buying classroom supplies for kids for a really long time. What I think, what I like about the strength of a man, getting back to the topic of this video, is, and I do see the strength of a man one-on-one, but I would like to see men show their strength in a social setting. I want men, good men, not the politicians we have in office. I think they should show some leadership, show some courage. I don't think it's courage to go to war, to fight other people's wars. I think you're just following blindly. Courage is saying, okay, you want to fund this pharmaceutical study that you want me to say that this drug works when it doesn't? Well, I'm not going to do it. It takes a lot of courage, but that one might threaten your livelihood. So I could see why a lot of people don't want to do that. But what about the courage to say, like, we're not going along with the feminist movement? What about the courage to say that I'm against these wars? I'm against all this overspending. What about the courage to ask women on a date? What about the courage to take on whatever the issues are that we have in this country? Because no one's taking it on. The politicians, they're happy. They're just raking in the money from their lobbyists and from their campaign donors. You know, they got their little elite little class going. And we, the people, have not gotten, you know, one day I think that the lower classes in this country are going to march. They're not there yet, and I don't think we have to get there. I just think that men should speak up and use their strength to speak up. That's what I'm saying. And it's not going to be every man, but there should be some men who take the lead and are the leaders. Because what I like about men is the strength of a man. I love the strength of a man, everything about him. And that's why men are not beauty objects like women. Women are supposed to be beauty objects, right? That's what men find us beautiful. Men are not beauty objects. We like men more for your qualities, mainly being your strength, your emotional stability, your discipline, your focus, your ability to protect and provide. And unfortunately, the feminist movement has told men that these things are all bad. Do you know how many men shave their pubic hair? It's shocking. Why are men shaving their pubic hair? To look like women. And women shaving their pubic hair to look like girls. You know, thankfully now a lot of men are growing beards. But even men who have chest hair, they're always, I love chest hair on men. I love it. And they're always surprised because so many women shame them for having hair, for being manly. It's almost like women are shaming men for being men. Fuck that. I just think that's wrong. I do not think men should listen to that. And I think the only way to get these women to kind of like back off is like, hey, babe, take a chill pill. I'm the guy around here. Just take a chill pill, okay? To just calm them down. It's like when people are like super excitable, like if I'm having a conversation with someone, they're getting upset, I will generally try to de-escalate. That's what women do. We will de-escalate, usually, unless they're like psycho. De-escalate, and I think that's what men can do because they're grounded and they're stable and they're strong, is to de-escalate these hyperactive women, these hyper high anxiety women. And they're so anxious because they try to act like men. We're not built for that. You know, these women would thrive more being in their home, doing a little yoga, arranging the flowers. And if you think that's old-fashioned, you know, I'm just here to tell you this is what I think the problem is, and that women have to get back to, let's say, cooking. Okay, now I don't like to cook, but I think it's good for me to cook because, did you know, see, we lost so much in our society. When you're cooking, just watch this Michaela Peterson interview she did with this naturopathic doctor, and he talked about, I forgot what it's called. It's a part of the digestion that starts before you eat. 40% of your digestive juices start before you eat, and they start while you're cooking, while you're preparing the food. And you can't always do that, but when you never do that, you're missing out. And also that people have to, that in order to get the most out of your food, you have your proper acid bile and to digest the food, you have to chew it into small pieces. Okay, because if it's a big piece, your stomach acid can't break it down. It'll just break down this part. The rest will just go out in your poop. What I'm getting to here is that a woman at home, she's relaxed, she prepares some kind of food, even if it's just heating up the soup that was made on Sunday. In my case tonight, I'm going to have some lentil soup from Trader Joe's with some fresh bread and a fresh salad. Very easy to make, but I'm not saying it's the best. Like I said, I don't like to cook, but one thing I'm working on for myself too is that when I eat, to take, he said when you eat, you take a bite and you sit back in your chair and you chew it. But so many people are so anxious because they're working and they're stressed that they're all hyper. All of this is related, okay? All of this is related to say that when we have women working all the time, who's home to create this relaxed space where there's fresh food and people can sit together and relax to eat and have family dinners, and where men can be strong and stable and say, hey, babe, you just chill. If women are going off on you, don't allow it. No woman should be going off on you. It's like, hey, babe, just chill. You just need to chill. Go meditate, take a deep breath, run a bath. Men shouldn't have to put up with a woman's coming home from work rambling. I really disagree with that. I never did that. I mean, it's occasionally occasionally to have an issue you bring to someone, but I don't have someone I talk to every day that I rant about my day. That's just showing you there's something wrong in your life. If you have to rant to your husband every day about your day, it just shows you're way out of balance and alignment. So what I'm saying is that there are so many problems that I see in the modern dating and relationship market, even the whole online dating thing. Like, how can I see your pheromones, your energy, how you move? How can I get a sense of you on there? Like, that's not for me. I can feel it's not for me. A man isn't just a photograph. I want to see your strength. I want to feel it. So I've been going out more to places where I could maybe meet some men or run across some men. So that takes a little bit of effort. So really what I wanted to say in this video is I like the strength of a man, and I don't see it in society. And I think that's one of the reasons that women are just so lost. They've been told they should be like men. They've been allowed to be like men. Men are just standing back saying nothing. They've either checked out, or they're annoyed, or they've just become pussies, frankly. They don't want to stand up. They don't want to speak for good. And so women have also lost interest in men. We're like, where are the good men? And I'm not saying it's men's fault. I think that feminism, the second wave of feminism, went way overboard. Apparently the first wave of feminism was even against pornography because they said it exploits women. And now it's just like, do your thing, we don't have any values. You do you, babe. You be the boss, babe. Snow White is the man is the stalker and having men, really putting men down in the sitcoms, making them look stupid. We need men to stand up and go, enough is enough. Somewhere. To just say enough is enough. That's why we need the strength of a man. The strength of a man is what makes a man attractive. It's not just the exterior of how you look. That's important too. But if you just have good looks and nothing else, that's worthless. Like, we as a society need the strength of men. That's what I feel is missing. And it's not your fault. It's not because you're not strong. You are. I think that society has told men that their strength is not wanted, so they've suppressed it. And what I want to do in this video is just to talk about it, to see if it resonates with you, if there's any truth to what I'm saying, if it resonates with you, and how you could bring it out. It used to be that men would go like hunting and do archery and, like, I think things that bring out the male energies, being around other men, and doing things like riding your motorcycle or going hunting or going backpacking in the woods or going camping or any outdoor activities in nature is really good for men too. Surfing, cycling, not necessarily running, because that just can make you like super skinny, or weightlifting, which can make men, if they're just lifting weights, can make them too obsessed with their looks. I just think that to get that masculine quality, like you're fixing your car, you're doing things on the house, but I think, no, I don't know, it's hard to explain. Just things that help you get in touch with your masculine power and your masculine strength, whatever that is for you. Don't even listen to me. I'm going to scratch everything I said, but I think that men find their masculine power and strength by being rugged individuals. I think men have to find their rugged individuality back, and they have to say, we want women, and we're going to go after them in real life. We're not going to be told that we're toxic. We're not going to be told that asking a woman out is some kind of a stalker thing. We're not going to stand for this because it's bullshit. Just like a man can't become a woman. A man can't be toxic because he's interested in a woman. People are gaslighting us. That's what I think. They're gaslighting us, and we're letting them. Don't let them. You got to be smarter than these people. So that's what I just wanted to say, and I really want to get people's input on this because... and the feminists have also told women to be like men, and that's why a lot of men don't like women anymore, because women have become like, because when men have stepped out of the picture, women were told they don't need a man, and men backed off, and then when men backed off, women really have to step into their power. It's like, well, if I don't have a man to take care of me and protect me and tell me, lay some guardrails around a proper society, then I got to do everything. I got to be the man. And that's not good for women, That's not good for us. We need to rely on men. We need to be able to rely on men, and men in our society, and good men in our society. The men that we have leading the politicians, they're just looking after they're just exploiters. They're just predators. Come on, let's get real. None of these politicians, Biden, Trump, I don't care. They're all predators. They're all exploiting. None of them have our best interests at heart, okay? In my opinion, they really don't. I mean, you might like them, you might relate to them, you might think they're funny or charming or whatever, but they're not leading us in a good direction. They're all overspending the coffers. They're not paying attention to what's really going on with the people, and they're all just creating more wars and more money for big pharma, military-industrial complex. And people are really suffering. They're not addressing any of the stuff that we're talking about in these videos that we know are real problems because they don't give a shit. That's all I want to say for now. I think that women have, as a result of the feminist movement, have become less feminine. And there could just be like before people meet in the middle, they kind of go to one extreme or the other. So that's okay. I'm not saying anything if this was bad or people are bad. It was a huge social experiment, and now I think we have to find our way back. The feminist movement was a huge social experiment that went way too far, and I think the wokeness thing that's going on is just like the last thing. And so with Snow White, there is another Snow White coming out, which comes from the Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, and there's Brett Cooper on there. I think Brett Cooper could be his sister. I'm not sure. But she's playing a different Snow White, the romantic Snow White that everybody saw in growing up from the Brother Grimm stories. Cinderella is not from Disney. It's the Brothers Grimm. Die Brüder Grimm, das sind deutsche Brüder. Die haben die Geschichte geschrieben. Okay? They're German brothers, the Brothers Grimm. They wrote the stories of Cinderella, and Disney made it into a movie. But that's more the traditional one. So I'm glad that there's someone doing this alternative, because Hollywood has been on decline for a really long time because people don't like all that wokeness. And men don't like women who are bitchy and shrill. Men want women who are soft and cooperative and pleasing and submissive. But women can't be when they're told that they can be the boss babe and when men are just standing back and letting them. So we both have a part to play. But I'm going to put it on the men to start, because you're the leaders, you're the strong ones, you're the ones that got to say, take a chill pill, girl. Just chill, lovingly, and just be like, I'm not going to be okay with this. That's what I would say if I was a man. But it's going to take some courage to go against the grain. And you have to be willing to, have people come after you, because they will. And one more thing I want to say. When I went to college in the 80s, college was a place of diverse ideas. We were supposed to have diverse ideas. We were supposed to be exposed to ideas that were different from ours so that we could gain more points of view and so that we could learn to debate our points. Sometimes you would debate this side or you would debate that side to get skill in debating and logical analysis. Now it's become like there's only one way to think, and if you think any other way, I am offended with you and you are canceled. Like, we're just making ourselves into idiots, and there's a reason that the roles of men and women lasted throughout time, because it made us attracted to each other. And now people aren't attracted to each other anymore. Women are going, where are the good men? Men are going, where are the good women? Why? Because we participate in the social experiment that has gone awry. Like, it has not worked out. It has not been to the benefit of people getting into relationships. What? You guys want the human race to die out? Because that's the direction we're headed. And that's it. That's all I want to say on this video. Cheers.